So in this video, I want to talk about why I make the videos that I make on this YouTube channel about Hawaii. And I think some people think that I just make all these negative videos about Hawaii. Like they're asking like, why do you make these negative things? Why are you so negative? Like, are you just trying to dissuade people from moving to Hawaii? And no, I'm not trying to do that. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. Particularly 3 reasons why I make the videos about Hawaii that I do. So the first thing is, do I find the topic interesting, and do I think that other people might find the topic interesting? When I think about what I'm gonna make in terms of YouTube videos, I always ask myself, is this interesting to me? Like, would I watch this video? Like, as I'm scrolling through YouTube, would I stop and click on this video? Because if not, I'm probably not gonna make that video. There are a lot of great YouTube channels out there about Hawaii food or places to go or travel tips, and I enjoy them as a local creator. But for me, I don't think I could make videos exclusively about those things because I'm just not passionate or interested in those particular topics. For those creators, they're passionate about that, right? They want to share those things, and so they create these videos and they find an audience who also is interested in those topics. But for me, it's not really like that, because the way that I view life in Hawaii is that it's more than just food or things to do or beautiful beaches. I think life in Hawaii has a lot more aspects to it, and that's what gets me excited. That's what I want to talk about, because I think most of the things that I talk about are things that are like talk story topics, like normal people would actually talk about them. And I'm trying to create that space, I guess, on YouTube for those types of topics or discussions. There are so many YouTube creators out there creating all kinds of content, and the thing I found is that if you just keep making content, your audience is going to find you. And for me as a YouTube creator, I'm still in the process of kind of figuring out what it is that I want to do. And you can tell based on my past videos, you look at them and you think, oh, they're pretty different from the videos that I make now, and that's a good thing, right? I'm trying to learn and grow as a video content creator, and I hope that in the future I continue to grow. So the videos that I'm creating now will be a little bit different and hopefully a lot more polished in the future. And I'm very appreciative of the audience that has found me over this journey, and particularly the ones in the beginning when the videos weren't necessarily that great. But I do try to think about topics that I think my audience is interested in, not necessarily the YouTube algorithm. Because YouTube gives us demographic information as a content creator. I can see who watches my video, like what type of person watches my video. And I know that for the most part, my audience is generally older. So I'm guessing they either have a family or they're working adults, maybe they're thinking about retiring. And so I try to think about topics that would interest that group as well as me as I'm growing older and older and older. I can't necessarily relate to topics that an 18-year-old may want to listen to or talk about. But I think as I'm getting older, I have a family now, there's issues and things that I'm starting to be more aware about and that are interesting to me. And so I want to talk about them. And I think that that overlaps with what an older audience is interested in as well. And so again, just thank you for the audience who has stuck with me throughout all of this. I really appreciate it. The second thing is I try to make videos that I think are real, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. I try to be honest, and I try to put a lot of thought into what I'm talking about in terms of the topic. When you do that, you're not always going to have positive things to say, because as you uncover things or you think about things, it's not always just rainbows and sunshine. Because I recognize that real life has ups and downs. We can't all live this glamorous Instagram life where everything just seems to be so perfect. Like everything is a 10 out of 10. I mean, I don't think that's my life. I mean, some of us have jobs, like real jobs. And by real jobs, I mean plural jobs, not just one, but one individual with multiple jobs. Some people have families and a lot of responsibilities, kids, but also parents that they're taking care of here in Hawaii. And other people have other real issues like finances and relationships and struggles and frustrations that just don't seem to go away. And to me, those types of things are more relatable than that glamorous lifestyle. When it comes to relatability, and I look at my normal, regular life where I'm working a regular job, I have normal responsibilities. When I think about those things, I try to find topics that I think are also relatable with other people that they may relate with and just be like, oh yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I know that most people have found my YouTube channel through a video that I made a year or so back about the realities of living in Hawaii, and that YouTube video has over 4,000 comments on it, and I appreciate all the comments, the good and the bad. And the most common comment that I received was about how people appreciated how honest and real the perspective I was giving about life in Hawaii, how it is hard to live here in Hawaii. And while I appreciate those comments, to me it's a little strange because I was just being honest and real, and I guess I didn't realize maybe how rare that is on YouTube to be kind of vulnerable and transparent. And in these videos, I hope that you can see an authentic person, someone who's passionate about the things that I'm talking about, or at least genuinely interested in things that I'm talking about. And I will say that it's hard because on YouTube, I can edit things, so it's hard to be 100% authentic. You know, I can make myself look really any way that I want in post, right? But I hope that in these videos, as the viewer, you feel like if you were to meet me in real life and we were to just kind of like hang out and you know, you sit down, we talk story, that you just feel like, oh yeah, this is exactly how you are in your videos, like in real life. And the last thing I try to do when I make these videos is I try to be helpful, and it's more than just here's tips and tricks and like here's a guide, you know, for life in Hawaii or visiting Hawaii. Like I try to be more than that because there's value in that for people who are visiting Hawaii and they're gonna come here and then they're eventually gonna leave. But I try to think about helpfulness in terms of people who used to live in Hawaii who no longer live in Hawaii. Like I think about those people who maybe they used to live way back, maybe for military, or maybe back when things were a lot cheaper and they were forced to move away. Like I think about those people and just trying to find ways so that they can connect to Hawaii. Because if you're from Hawaii or you've lived here a long time, Hawaii is kind of always gonna be your home. And I think by just having a YouTube presence here, by just being someone who looks like they're from Hawaii, who talks like they're from Hawaii, who thinks the same way that you can because you are from Hawaii, like just having an understanding, because we both grew up in Hawaii or spent time in Hawaii, but just having someone there, I think is gonna be so important. I foresee a lot of people moving away from Hawaii, unfortunately, in the next 2 to maybe 5 years. We'll see how the economy recovers here in Hawaii. But I see a lot of people leaving because just how difficult things are getting. And they're gonna need ways to connect with Hawaii. And they know that if they go online and they see the glamour lifestyle, like through Instagram or whatever, they know that that's not really how things are. They know because they grew up here, they lived here. And hopefully through my YouTube channel and others creating content, they can just like relax after like a hard day of work, and like they see like an 8 to 10 minute video and they're like, oh man, this guy, you know, like just brings me back to being in Hawaii. Because I remember how lonely things were when I was on the mainland, particularly when I was in Portland, Oregon. Man, I was so lonely. It was like there was nobody I could relate to there. Even though I know that there are Hawaii people there, I just went to work and I went home and there was nobody from Hawaii. Like the closest I could get to being from Hawaii, like connecting to anything from Hawaii, was going to L&L in Beaverton, or going to a Asian supermarket and getting a Hawaiian sun. Like that was the closest I could ever get to from connecting to anybody in Hawaii. I mean, anytime I would even get a guess of, hey, is that person from Hawaii? Because they look Asian. It's like, no, they're not. But like, I really longed for that. And so I hope that this YouTube channel can provide that for some people who just want to connect with someone or some people from Hawaii because they miss it. You know, it would be like for 10 minutes, right, in your week, you could just talk story with someone at Zippy's, like late night, just eating like Simon or something. And you're just talking story, catching up about how things are in Hawaii and just relaxing, you know, for a little bit. Or you just cruising, you know, driving around the island with your friends and you're just talking about whatever, like that kind of stuff you can't really replicate when you're away. And so I hope that that's what this channel can provide. Because yes, a lot of the videos that I make will be helpful for people thinking about moving to Hawaii or will be moving to Hawaii. And I'm glad that people find that helpful because they want to know more about like real life in Hawaii. They don't want to, they've seen all the videos on the drone shots and they've seen all the beaches and all that, but they want to just know like, okay, what is it like to actually work and live and raise a family here? And so I'm glad that that audience finds these videos helpful. But I hope that you know, as an audience, I do think about the people who used to live in Hawaii and just want to connect with the state, with the people of Hawaii, with somebody in Hawaii other than just what they see through like pictures and things like that. Like someone or just somewhere that they can go to that they're just like, oh man, yeah, it just brought me back to life in Hawaii and I miss that, and thank you. So that's what I try to do. So thanks for watching this video and aloha.